This is the Neoliberal Round Podcast.
And I did call somebody from the hospital to see if I could reach corporate, but they would not give me corporate number. But there are allegations of racial disparities and neglect at Hackensack Meridian Riverview Hospital. A black patient is raising serious concerns about his recent hospitalization at Hackensack Meridian Riverview Medical Center in Red Bank, New Jersey, alleging that he experienced inadequate care, premature discharge, poor communication, and treatment that left him feeling marginalized and medically unsafe. The patient, admitted after collapsing on a tennis court, reports that in 6 days of hospitalization, he was never examined by a physician. Instead, he interacted solely with nurses and physician assistants. During this period, he says he continued to suffer the same symptoms: dizziness, fainting episodes, chest heaviness, and weakness that initially led to his emergency admission. According to his account, diagnostic tests were performed without explanation, and results were either withheld or presented with incomplete or conflicting narratives. He states that medical staff attempted to discharge him despite persistent symptoms and without providing a follow-up discussion regarding an echocardiogram that revealed a bicuspid aortic valve, a congenital defect that can affect blood flow. He also reports that his dietary restrictions were ignored, with meals containing red meat and cheese despite repeated requests. Now, one of the most troubling events he describes occurred during an attempted discharge. Hospital staff reportedly instructed him to walk off the unit despite ongoing dizziness. While waiting at the pharmacy, he collapsed and had to be readmitted. He alleges that a nurse immediately went into defensive mode rather than assessing his condition, and that the emergency department's doctor system review revealed that he was still listed as an admitted patient, raising questions about the legitimacy of the initial discharge, because they said that he has to leave and cannot stay because they had already discharged him. Now, the patient further states that a psychiatrist, was sent to his room because he was readmitted, was sent to his room, though he had reported no psychiatric symptoms. He interprets this as part of a broader pattern in which black patients' physical complaints are reframed as psychological, leading to delays in proper medical evaluation. On the day of his final discharge, which is today, an occupational therapist conducted orthostatic testing, a check for blood pressure changes with movement, and found significant fluctuations along with visible unsteadiness in his gait. The therapist reportedly advised that he should not be discharged and recommended additional medical evaluation, including a head CT. However, the patient says no physician ever followed up, and the discharge proceeded despite these findings. When he requested to speak with hospital leadership about his concerns, he was met with a nurse manager and a nurse practitioner, neither of whom he reports addressed the outstanding medical issues or explained the decision surrounding his care. The patient ultimately left, the hospital still dizzy and weak, the patient still dizzy and weak, stating he did not feel he had received adequate care or clear medical guidance. He did a heart stress test yesterday. The cardiologist or the doctor never spoke with him about the findings, but he was being discharged. His experience raises pressing questions about medical equity, communication, discharge protocols, and the treatment of black and brown patients in clinical settings. He reports that he stayed in 2 rooms, and his 2 rooms had patients that had over 3 or 4 doctors' visits, visiting him, visiting the other persons in the other side of the room, but never him. So I want to find out what is going on at your hospital.
Is this Mr. McKenzie, the patient, or are you speaking speaking on behalf of Mr. McKenzie?
This is Mr. McKenzie. I'm a writer,
Thank you.
and I am. That is what I am. I'm writing that. What I just read to you
Okay.
is what I will publish today.
Understood. I just wanted to make sure. I do apologize for any confusion because you were speaking in the third person.
I know, and that's fine. I'm a writer. I'm an author. I'm an author. And just so you know,
It's very well written.
And just so you know, I spoke with a patient experience rep, Eileen, today, yesterday, and the day before yesterday about this with more detail. Okay, a lot more happened because they draw blood from me. They took D-dimer, and I was pressuring them to check my liver because I was feeling my lungs, or to do a chest X-ray. They didn't, but they drew the blood and they found that it was positive. Okay, but some of these tests were not represented on the discharge paperwork. Okay, and I believe that the narratives are misleading, and there is a level of dishonesty. Because this morning when I spoke with Jeff, the nurse practitioner, who is coordinating my care, said to me, the heart stress test that I did, it looks like it came back as being normal. And I said to him, yes, except that the ejection fraction shows that I'm outside the borderline. Okay? And he said, and I wanted to have a discussion with the cardiologist about the test. He said he's waiting on cardiology to come up and have a discussion with me, and they will sign off on they never did that. Not once did anybody come and talk with me from cardiology. Not once.
So sorry, Mr.
And today I was wobbling and fainting, and my orthostatic was erratic, but yet still no. And the occupational therapist spoke with me, left, and then they just quickly came with the discharge paperwork and medication and ready for me to go.
And it was a preemptive discharge. You were not ready for discharge.
No, I was absolutely not ready. Because if you see and I don't know if they indicated the occupational Madeline occupational right. I don't know if they include, and I noticed that they are deliberately hiding reports. They did. I don't see them putting the positive for the D-dimer that they took in the paperwork. Okay. Now they did a CAT scan after that, but who looked at it? Did a doctor look at it, or it was a nurse? The nurse and the X-ray people look at it, but never a doctor. Okay, I'm telling you that. The third thing is that they did the echocardiogram. Connie, the assistant to the cardiologist, never spoke with me about the echocardiogram until I was going to be released the first time. The first time they were going to release me on Tuesday, which I was discharged, in a sense. They were discharging me on Tuesday, and I said, I haven't met with the cardiologist or talked with anybody about the echocardiogram. And they were still discharging me. Everything is fine. Then they had me walking the rounds. I was walking the floor just before they discharged me. And then they realized, no, a nurse run and grabbed me and said, he's in no condition. They put me in a chair and said, wow, no, you're unsafe. They put me back in the room. And that's when Connie finally came and said to me, the echocardiogram shows that there's a defect with my heart valve. Okay, it's going down, it's flapping down instead of flapping up. One, and two, it's showing that. And Jeff said that the aorist valve, one of the nurse practitioners, the aorist valve, I have two. Well, Connie said that too, instead of three, which can affect blood flow. Okay, all right, but yet they are. But what did they do? Then Antoinette, the nurse, came up and said, I went to lie down a bit because I was fainty, weak. So Antoinette came up and said, why are you still laying down? You're discharged. I'm like, oh. Connie came up and said that she saw something on my echocardiogram, left to go down. She said she's going to be right back. She'll talk with me in a minute. And all of a sudden, and then you're telling me, she's like, why are you not ready? First of all, I still have all of the IV stuff in my hand. I'm still hooked up to the heart monitor. But she came upstairs and said, why are you still dressed? I'm like, oh, I thought that they were going to change. And then I called my doctor at the same time at Thomas Jefferson Hospital in Philadelphia. I called my doctor, Dr. Nina Mingione, to let them know what's going on. And they said, tell them that you are not ready to leave. You don't feel comfortable. They're not supposed to discharge. Now, when I said that to Antoinette, the nurse, she said, oh, no, we already discharged you. That was a lie, because when I walked downstairs to the pharmacy to pick up my medication to leave, and I fainted and I collapsed in the area, she went into defense. She went into defense mode and said, oh, I was trying to get him a chair. She never came to say, are you okay? And the other pharmacy ran up, and the rapid response came. They came and attended to me, and then they were trying to put me into the emergency room system. But guess what? They couldn't. You know why? I was not discharged out of the system. So that was a lie. Okay? I don't take kindly to liars. That was a lie. And there has been several missteps. So, okay, and then they diagnosed me as having a syncope fall and so on, and they put me back in the room. And on Wednesday, and I was there from Wednesday to today. And on during this time, with the positive D-dimer, with the echocardiogram showing that, constant fainting and so on, you're telling me there's nothing going on? Not once am I no doc. I only saw the ED doctor, and I said to the ED doctor, "You're the first." When I got there on Saturday night, Sunday morning. Sorry, Saturday. I got there Saturday night, but Sunday morning, Doctor Vlahos, the cardiologist, he came and spoke with me just for 1 minute and left. And I think he was the one that put in for the echocardiogram. That's it. And the only reason why they put in for the echocardiogram was when I was pressuring them to do a low dose CT scan on my on my lungs, and they didn't. And I was pressuring them. I said, "No, you got to do it. There's something going on." And they said, "Fine, we'll take blood." And when they took the blood, it was positive. So they did the CAT scan and they did the echocardiogram. Now, and of course, after that, they just released me, because although the echocardiogram shows that, I don't know why they are releasing me. Never saw a doctor. The doctor never talked with me about the echocardiogram. You see what so now on Wednesday, when I got readmitted into the hospital Wednesday night, Thursday, I didn't see a doctor. Friday, they sent me a psychiatrist. Now, I have a problem with that, because the way how I work, I'm doing my PhD. I'm doing Africology at Temple. Okay, I'm a writer, I'm an author, I'm also a professor. I also work with Public Health Management Corporation. Okay, so I am familiar with public health and the systems. Now, they sent me a psychiatrist. I'm like, I don't need a psychiatrist. And put on the board Xanax. And I said, that is how they make people addicted to drugs. I am black and my problem must be psychiatric, and prescribing me with Xanax. Anyways, I never saw a psychiatrist. They were going to release me yesterday or day before yesterday, I think, because they were just going to hold me over for observation. But then they realized I was still fainting, dizzy, weak, and so they ordered they were going to do and they noticed that my orthostatic at time was above 20. So what I did was so they said they're going to do and they changed a lot. They said they were going to do a catheterization. One of my friends was having the same symptoms, fainting, dizziness, and not only that, with the aorist valve and so on. We already know what's going on, so they never needed to do a heart stress test. If you do an echocardiogram, the next step is to do a catheterization. They do a stress test, which is a step down. Usually you do the stress test and then the echocardiogram. Okay? So they were going to do a catheterization. But that day they decided to do the stress test instead. I could barely do the stress test the way they wanted it to because I could not run on the elliptical machine. I was weak. Okay, every time I continue to have the pain and the pressure in my chest. There is a massive pressure in my chest. It's been going on for 2 weeks. I already went to Temple University in Philadelphia for it. And while visiting here in with my family, all my family live here, I had the problem again, a major hit in the chest, and to the way where I collapsed. Now, they did the stress test, and the stress test they said was normal, no major issue. However, it's a yellow flag because the stress test shows that my heart is not beating as strong as it could be. It is okay. In other words, it's the normal rate is between 50 to 70%, but it's at 46%. I They did the health stress test, sent me back up, and they didn't give me the results. I know the results because I have my chart. I'm a patient at Thomas Jefferson. I go to the doctor every 3 to 6 months. So I'm always there. So I have my chart. And so I connected my chart and I saw everything. I copied it, sent it to my doctor, and I also put it into my research portal, and it generated a response, and that's where I was able to see what was going on with the heart stress test. And based on the heart stress test, it was saying that the pipes are good, but they need to go do a deeper dive to look at the mechanics. Plus, because I'm constantly fainting weak, and it shows that my valve is moving in a weird way, so they would need to do an even closer check. And although the stress test was necessary, it wasn't a failure. It shows that my heart is relatively okay. There's no blocked arteries. However, it is not beating as soundly as it could. It is outside of the normal range. I only know that from what I was able to read and send it to my doctor and so on and so forth. So yes, the cardiologist never came back. All day yesterday, I'm waiting for yesterday, Friday, because I did it when? I did the heart stress test was it yesterday I did it? I think it was, yesterday I did the stress test, and I did it about 12 o'clock. They never came to me after the test. And then today, all day, nobody came until I was ready to be released. And,
Right, and then you had the episode.
yes, and I had the episode and so on. And, I'm disheartened by what I'm hearing. And the second thing I have a problem with your hospital is that why is it that nurses are wearing white coats, which gives a false impression that they are medical doctors? And it's not just the nurses that are wearing it. Case managers are wearing a white coat. I noticed that. Is that allowed? Case managers?
I don't know. I know certain departments wear different colors, but I don't know the criteria to wear white.
They're wearing white as if they are doctors. It confuses the patient, because at first I thought Jeff was a doctor, and later 2 days after I realized he's a nurse practitioner. The persons who are coordinating my care were Glenn and Jeff, never Dr. Ahmad, but they put his name on the board, but they never consulted with him, ma'am.
And you never saw him.
I never saw him, but yet still they put him on the paper. This is a malpractice, and I intend to report this to the New Jersey Department of Health. And to also report this to the public, because the public needs to know what is going on with Hackensack Meridian Health, where they have a preponderance of nurses coordinating care for patients who go to the hospital with serious medical issue. Not only that, Jeff is not a cardiologist. How is he talking to me about a cardiology test? And I said, I want to speak with the cardiologist, and they still did. They refused. And in a sense, I feel as though I should challenge the discharge paperwork and my bill. and also take it up with my insurance. But this is a major issue, and I will never gonna let it go until someone from it is addressed and they provide an answer. And not only that, and fix the issue. My mom died in December of 2011. But just so you know, before she died, she was a patient with Hackensack Meridian Health, a cancer patient at Hope Towers. Almost every one of my family members who live in Jersey is either a patient or connected with Meridian, and I was treated like this. Because the Riverview, and they were saying, "Oh, you should have gone to, so I'm not. I live in Philadelphia. You know what? One of my family members said to me, "You should have gone to Jersey Shore. Riverview is for wealthy white people." I said, "Wait, hold up. This is Jersey. Jersey is a liberal state. They are like that. Riverview is different." That is the impression. And one of your employees, a porter, saw me, and I explained what was happening to me, and he said, "No, put your foot down. Put your foot down, sir." The same thing happened to my brother. He came to the hospital here, and they sent him home with a pill for ulcers, or no, a pill for some, and he died. And when he saw me getting the heart stress, then he said, "Good. They're finally taking some concern about that." This is concerning. And Frank Pallone Jr. is a friend of my family, and he was on Facebook the other day talking about how Mammoth Hospital and so on. We need Mammoth Hospital. If people can't get the care from Riverview, please open up Mammoth Hospital. And of course, I will be meeting with Frank Pallone Jr. to talk about this. People don't know who they're treating when they go. Okay, everybody should be treated the same way. Okay? And that's all I have to say for now.
Mr. McKenzie, I am sensitive to your concerns. Trust me, I am. I did listen to this intensely, and I sincerely apologize for this experience. I promise you I'm going to escalate your concerns. I'm also going to address that the ambassador, Eileen, spoke with you for 3 days, and it was felt that nothing was done, and the biased treatment that you experienced, and as well as never seeing Dr. Ahmad. I am so sorry.
Yeah, and one of my family members is a nurse RN. Three of them are nurses RN in Jersey Shore here. Okay, I don't know if they're connected. I don't think they're connected with you guys anymore. But and they are saying, and she said to me, "You never saw a doctor? So who wrote the prescriptions and stuff? I mean, who ordered these tests?" And I don't know. There is a lapse in judgment. There is something going on there. Okay, and not only that, there is dishonesty. If you look at my medical chart, tell me if you see I want you to look at my medical chart. The D-dimer.
I don't have access.
You don't have access to it. Okay, that's fine.
I almost called you Dr. McKenzie. I apologize.
That's fine.
I don't have access to your clinical chart. I'm sorry, I don't.
Okay.
Well, you said you had a PhD, so yes, I can call you a doctor.
Yes. Well, I'm almost finished. Yes, I should be getting it anytime now. But I'm a reverend. I'm Reverend Renaldo McKenzie, as well.
McKenzie. Okay.
Yes. But
I ask of you to give us a chance. I'm going to put this in, and it is going to be heard.
Thank you.
Give us a chance to address this and to reach out to you, if you would permit that, please.
Okay. I will give you guys 1 day before I release this article.
Okay. It's the weekend. I know that's not an excuse. I'm sorry for putting it in this way, but can you please give us till Monday?
Okay, I will try. But you understand that I'm very... But
I know.
Let me tell you, I'm quite sure they're going to bill my insurance to the pulp. I was there for 3 days and then another 3 days. That's 6 days altogether. Okay, not only that, it has affected my ability to work. They have dragged their feet, and what, I mean, 2 days, nothing happened. They just have me sleeping in the bed. Nothing. Waiting. I hope, ma'am, that you are able to help me to fix what is wrong with this hospital so that people in this area can get the service they deserve. And not just the people here, but people from all walks of life, whether they're black or brown, whether they are rich or poor. I wrote a book. It's entitled Neoliberalism, Globalization, Income Inequality, Poverty, and Resistance. I write about poverty and I write about income inequality. Okay? And just so you know, did I tell you that the people next, I did say that, the people next to me in the rooms, like, you know, the rooms are split in half, they're separated by curtains. Both, all the time that I stayed, those guys who were with me, they had doctors visiting them.
You mentioned they saw doctors and they walked by you and you did not see a physician.
Yes. So yes, I'm gonna feel discriminated against.
Yeah, you're gonna question.
Yes, you know.
Okay. So,
thanks. So if they can,
I address you as Pastor McKenzie?
Yeah, that's fine. And my number is, no, you can just say Renaldo. That's fine. Renaldo is fine. Just
okay,
Renaldo.
Renaldo.
Yeah, man. Renaldo is okay.
Yes.
And my number is I did call in a 267 number. That's my work cell. But my personal cell is,
okay.
I can give you my personal cell if you would like that.
Yes, please.
It's 445-260-9198.
9198. And,
Yes.
and Renaldo, I'm sorry, your date of birth.
June
So
14th.
they can track you in.
Sure.
Okay?
June 14th, 1979.
1479. Okay. All right. No worries. You can keep this number for consumer services for follow-up.
Okay.
Or for any future concerns, or if there's something you forgot to mention, you can call back and we can add it, okay?
Thank you.
Of course, Renaldo. And thank you for bringing this to our attention, because without these concerns, we cannot improve. And I thank you.
You're welcome. I appreciate you spending the time to listen carefully about my concerns. Thank you.
Of course. I am sensitive to your concerns, Renaldo, and I don't want this to happen to someone or to a family member as well.
Thank you. Well, have a good day. I'm looking forward to the call back, and have a great day.
Absolutely. You as well. Thank you.
Bye-bye. This is the Neoliberal Round podcast and the Neoliberal YouTube the Neoliberal Round YouTube channel. And also and we are part of, and the Neoliberal Round and YouTube, the Neoliberal YouTube channel is part of the Neoliberal Corporation. Please support us subscribe, share the show with your friends, donate to us, Renaldo, McKenzie, donate to us so that we can improve. And please visit our store page at store.theneoliberal.com, visit our website at theneoliberal.com and renaldocmckenzie.com. We are all about serving the world today to solve tomorrow's challenges by making popular our monopoly.